Welcome back for more about how to use your office visit worksheets for your doctor's appointments, so that you might see how using them can work for your lifestyle and your level of organization. If you're doing a DIY version of the Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook, in the last video we went over the details of the office visit worksheet, how you might use it during a typical exam. I kept the graphics up on the screen long enough, hopefully, so you could write up a master copy without having to pause that video too much. I will link that video in the description and at the end, just in case you didn't finish making it master, so it's easy to find. If you're new here, I'm Laura Kuligowska, and these videos are a companion to my book. The Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook is a series of worksheets you would fill in and use to inventory, organize, and analyze your own health so you can take more proactive control over your health. In the last workshop, we talked about the office visit worksheets, how you could use some of your time in the waiting room, or the second waiting room, to do a quick review of your health history watch list, what test at what age logs, to prepare for that day's appointment. It's really easy to do, especially for a routine checkup or a sudden minor illness. If you're relatively healthy, this is the way you may always prepare, right there in one of the waiting rooms. In this situation, if you have no new information to discuss with your doctor at all, and you're feeling fantastic, you could decide to skip using the office visit worksheets for this appointment. But remember to add the test results directly to any vital statistic tracking charts you're using for monitoring or proactive prevention. The vital statistics tracking charts have an entry for the date, and you could, if you'd like, jot down the doctor's name in that column as well. We will go over the vital statistics tracking charts in more detail in the next few workshops. Another way to use these office visit worksheets is to make our notes at home or add reminders to the worksheets when we think of them. Often we feel unwell for days or even weeks before we make a doctor's appointment. In that case, you may start filling in your office visit worksheet over time or in advance of that appointment, adding notes about how you're feeling and questions as you think of them. Then when you're at the doctor, you'll have all the information that you need teed up and ready to go. Maybe you hear or read about some new medical information related to a family history watch list item. You might like to know if your doctor is aware of that new information and find out more about it from your doctor. Jot down that information in the next blank office visit worksheet, especially if it's not urgent, so you're reminded to ask about that the next time you see the doctor. Remember, it's all about getting the most you can from the short time you have with your doctor, building up an arsenal of information so you can be more proactive about your unique health situation. If you are seeing a doctor for a chronic condition, you may want to have your handbook in a place that's easy to access, bookmarked to the office visit worksheet you would use next. Then, as you experience issues, you can make notes for your next doctor's appointment. With a chronic condition, you could use your 30 pages of worksheets up rather quickly. I do have a hack for that. If you do see the doctor for chronic conditions or multiple doctors a lot, first, I'd like to say that I'm very sorry for that. That must suck. And the best hack that I can give you is to actually hack up the book. I've done this several times with workbooks that I knew would be expanding. Just remove the cover, release the pages, and hole punch them to go into a binder. If you're seeing the doctor often, it might be easier to use your Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook that way. You can make copies of the pages you use most often. You can archive in a separate binder old information so you have it for reference, but aren't carrying it around with you. If you do hack up your handbook, you could prepare your office visit worksheets in advance and only take your base of knowledge worksheets to your appointment, a mini traveling handbook. Your mini handbook could be a few blank office visit worksheets along with your health history summary page, your vital statistics tracking charts, prescription log, what test at what age for your decade, plus a few worksheets that we've not spoken about yet if they apply to your situation. Depending on your condition and how often you see your doctor, you may create a system where you keep a set of active worksheets and rotate out the oldest to your archive folder. I've been in Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook mode for a very long time, even before I had the idea of creating it. You could say that I've been interrogating and harassing my doctors since the early 80s. When I started to work on creating this handbook, I purged quite a bit of information I had in my health records collection, keeping only what was important for me to be proactive. Since I've been doing this so long, I have written down and memorized all the questions relevant to my health. And I add any bits of information outside my typical questions right into my phone's notes. Most of the time, I have a running notes page for my next doctor's appointment right here in my phone, kind of like a shopping list. Then I talk to text every bit of information that I get at my doctor's appointment because, as you know, I have terrible handwriting and sometimes I can't read my own writing. When I get home, I neatly transfer the trackable information into my handbook or vital statistics tracking charts. I have several notebook versions of my handbook, and I have been archiving information about my health for decades. I kind of overdo it, but that's just my style. You don't have to. You organize in a way that's comfortable for you. The main point here is to know your health self better. When creating the handbook, I tried my best to strip back to a general template, so each individual who uses it to take control of their health could shape it into a system that works uniquely for them. Try using the Office Visit Worksheets as they are a time or two. Once you get used to being more proactive at the doctor, you will evolve a way to use it that works for your style. In fact, as you get more confidence at the doctor, you may change how you use your handbook entirely. The key is to create an awareness in you that you are in charge of your health, the ultimate decision maker for your quality of life. Remember, when you ask questions of your doctor, they work for you. Asking questions and getting clarity about why your doctor is prescribing a medication and how it works in your body, or questions about a therapy they prescribe, or even why they're not prescribing a therapy that you think they should, is not challenging their authority. No one has authority over your health but you. You have full rights to take proactive control of your health. Ask as many questions as you need to feel confident in your decisions. There are a lot of healthcare professionals out there that wonder why they care more about their patients' health than their patients do. In the end, your doctor should respect you for taking more active control of your health. In the last workshop, I mentioned healthcare values and beliefs. It's important for you to understand what your own values and beliefs are in relation to your health and be able to communicate that to your doctor. It's not something that's typically encouraged by most doctors. On page 84 of the Smart Patients Healthcare Handbook is another blank note page. You can use that space to jot down your philosophy of health. Use a pencil as it might change over time. If you feel that your doctor and you are not seeing eye to eye, this notes area could be a good place to flush that out in writing. There's no shame in pre-writing what you want to say and reading it to your doctor. You can even write what you want to say directly onto your office visit worksheet so you could refer to that when you need to. For some people, writing things down is useful to unify their thoughts, or if they have the type of doctor that would interrupt or shut them down, or if you're shy about your opinions and feelings. Often we perceive our doctor to be the final authority over our health. We can feel intimidated voicing our opinions or thoughts about how we want to manage our own health. I'm going to say this again. You have full right to take proactive control of your health. You have the right to ask questions of your doctor. I'm not suggesting you be combative. You and your doctor should be on the same team, trying to achieve the same goals. Greater health for you. My wish for you is to get the most out of each and every doctor appointment you have. To be proactive with the knowledge you have about yourself and your family health history. To collaborate with your doctor. Remember, you're a team and their expertise is vital. As we go over the remaining worksheets in the series, we will end up talking more about the doctor-patient relationship, always from the patient's perspective, our perspective. There's a crap ton of books written by doctors about how you should behave at the doctor. Some of them are so technical that you have to be a doctor to understand them. This isn't one of those books. Over time, this handbook should become a past health, present health, and future health record uniquely designed for you, by you. I think it's so fantastic when we can take control of our health. If you have anything you'd like to contribute to the conversation regarding anything I've discussed in any of the workshops, please put it in the comment section. I have it set so I see every comment. If you know someone else that you think might be helped by being more organized with their own health, please share this video with them. If you have friends or family that need to keep track of their health information better, share the link to the book on Amazon, where they can check it out. The link to my book and any other books or reference information I discuss in these workshops will always be in the description box and on my website. Bye for now.